Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? Sorry, I was trying to type something, but and I kind of got a little bit late start. I was all ready to go, and then I got a phone call from somebody I had to take that was supposed to call me this afternoon, so I had to get that squared away. So sorry for not being on, answering a bunch of questions, or saying hi to everybody. But we'll do that right now. We've got ZSZS123, and I've never seen that before. But welcome. He's got the 40 caliber P09, I guess, because he said, well, "What's your?" I said, "What's your go-to?" Lake Ozark guys in the house. Ranger 10. He said he's using his new Sterling. That's awesome, man. Pistol Pete is in the house. He has AOL. I have Pony Express. That's what I was trying to type, and I screwed it up. Hello, Scott. How are you? But yeah, I figured we'd just, kind of get into things, do a discussion, and I kind of let you know what I've kind of got working. Um, a new, got to write this down before I forget it. Hello, Clyde Cumberland. Got Brian in the house. Lee is in. Rich B. Hope y'all are all doing well. And this will be my first drink in like 2.5 weeks. So I've been excited about having a drink. Cheers, everyone. Oh man, I missed that. Little Buffalo Trace, nothing too crazy. Rich B's in the house. But I figured we'd kind of get into some things. I did want to say, I've had a lot of people ask me very recently, probably within about the past week and a half, what's your go-to? What do what's your main squeeze? What's your, I'd probably say a handful of questions, not like 10,000 or any of that, but, hey, what do you dominantly carry? What do you know, and I think it's recommendations. That's what people ultimately, and then I'll say, well, I think I use this mainly. And then they'll come back and they're like, well, so I think they're kind of wanting some ideas. And, I kind of want to talk about that tonight, and also manual of arms, you know, double action only, double action, single action, striker fire, kind of where people should fall in that and what y'all's opinion are. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit tonight, and some other stuff. Hello, Armsman. Armsman is in the house. If y'all need a great holster, that is your man. It's Armsman. I'm not going to give the website because YouTube gets pissed off, but you can use my discount code. It's BJGG10. That will get you 10% off everything and free shipping to my subscribers only. So that is for any Armsman holster, BJGG10. And you can go and put that in there, and he'll give you that discount code. We got Pranic in the house. Yeah, made it on time. Trigger Bar's in the house. I think Trigger Bar's out still traveling. Be safe out there, brother. And then I've had, oh man, that CZ Shadow 2 video did pretty well, and I got a million freaking questions. So I didn't know if y'all had any questions, on the chat. I know maybe some of y'all asked questions and already answered them, but I've had a million questions on that. And then what do I think about it and all this other stuff. I kind of said all that in the video. Also, I did find out, I actually said in the video that I traded in some guns, and got this one and things like that. I had people coming back and saying, hey, what guns did you trade in? I'm like, I said it in the video. So I understand it was a little bit longer video and a lot of people don't want to watch it. But, a lot of the questions that were asked are actually in the video. But, like I said, I wasn't being a dick or anything. I was trying to still answer some questions for everybody. But, oh, Trigger Bar just got home. That's awesome, man. But, yeah, I do have some things coming. I mean, like I talked about earlier, I do have some things coming for the Shadow 2 Compact. I've had a lot of people ask me what is coming. I don't want to tell everything, but, there's two big companies involved that's sending some stuff in. Actually, I take that back. There are three big companies involved. And I'm probably going to be doing a project with one of the companies on something different. So I've been thinking about this for a really, really long time. I think we've even talked about it on the chat, but I don't want to give it away yet and say what it is. But It's a gun that I absolutely love, literally love, but it's kind of plain. So might be doing something to that, you know, doing a little fixer upper, so to say. But anyway, so that's who I was on the phone with just a minute ago before the chat. He was going to call me earlier today. I guess he was tied up in the shop probably. So he contacted me back when he was leaving, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got a chat that I got to jump on here in just like 8 minutes." And so anyway, I just kind of told him my idea, and he really likes it. So we're going to talk tomorrow. Hopefully that works out. Um, let's see here. Rich B is asking me. Let me catch back up here. Regarding the Shadow 2, what changed your mind about the size of it? Because I know you didn't like the way it felt previously. And that's a great question, Rich. That really is. When I was at the gun store, just way back when, when it came out, I was kind of finger banging it and holding it and all that other stuff, and I didn't really, do a whole bunch of that with it. But, and I was just like, man, it just seems small. It just really does. Because there weren't options for it at that exact time. So I kind of knew what was coming, and I knew things that could help benefit it. So, and also, this one was a used model, so the price was right at the time for me. And by trading those guns in, it really wasn't anything like physically out of my pocket. Because I kind of told myself, just so y'all know, I mean, I'm not hiding anything. I kind of told myself, I said, I've got so many freaking guns that I don't shoot. And honestly, there's a lot of them, and I'm not saying any of them are bad if you own them, but there's a lot of guns that I have that I'm just like, man, I don't ever shoot. They just sit there. I mean, I've had guns for 3 years sitting in the safe that I haven't even shot. Um, they're just sitting there. So I'm just kind of going, I'm not getting any younger. And here's kind of my mindset, and I'll share it with you because I haven't shared it with anybody. But here's kind of my mindset now. I kind of want to have more guns that I truly, truly, truly enjoy than having paperweights. And I'm not being negative about other guns, but there's just, you know, I have a lot of guns that are customized. I won't ever get rid of those. But I have a lot of guns that aren't, and I don't really want to put the investment in them because it wouldn't pay off for me, and I don't love them that much. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna start thinning some of them out. Now I'll still have plenty. Don't worry about that. But I'm gonna have more of what I truly enjoy. And also, here's another thing: if anything were to happen to me, crashed, burns, whatever, or just handed them down to, I have a grandkid on the way. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but I want to be able to give my grandkid or grandson, granddaughter, whatever. I want to be able to pass down like guns that I really, really enjoy, not a bunch of just stuff you can go buy anywhere. And that's kind of what I've kind of decided to do. Trust me, even in the custom guns and all these other things, I've got nice guns. It's not a small collection, but I've just got too much of stuff that y'all have never seen that I just don't really give a shit about. And I'm just being 100% honest. So that's kind of where my mindset is right now. Not getting, I've already, man, I did this quite a while ago, but I've got rid of a lot of my shotguns. I had a whole Wingmaster collection. I had like every freaking Wingmaster shotgun known to man. I got rid of every one of those because they're just not practical and I don't use them anymore. I still have plenty of shotguns though, but more of the higher end ones, more of the useful ones, and bird guns. So I'm good there. But I've kind of done that full circle. And I've got a lot of guns that I really enjoy, and I've got two and sometimes three of each one of those guns, like the Shadow 2. I said it in that video. I had four of them. Some people call that major overkill, and I tend to agree. So uh, most people would never trade into Shadow 2, but most people don't have four of them. So that's kind of what I decided to do on that one. But that's kind of where my mind is. You can say that's dumb, that's smart, that's whatever, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So, but the new project that I'm thinking about, I think y'all are going to love it. And I have nothing like it. And I've got this idea stuck in my head. And I just ran the idea by him, and he loves it. He thinks it's awesome. He thinks it's really cool. And hopefully we can make it come to fruition. So, but, and it's a company I just started working with. So, I don't even think I've never talked about them. Y'all don't know who they are, but it's just a company I just started working with. So, but I will reveal all that. Let me catch back up. Sorry about that little, rant. I just kind of wanted to, but anyway, back to the Shadow 2. I'm sorry, Rich. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I just kind of put my hands on it, and then I started thinking about it. I've got over 30 Shadow 2 full size mags. I said it in the video. I've got like 6 or 7 compact mags. So I've got tons of mags for it. Um, and that was like, well, okay, why not add that, to the collection? And honestly, I'm really glad I did. Now I've only got 130 rounds through it so far, being 100% transparent. So I've got to do more testing. And of course, y'all know we had a failure, not of the gun, but of the optic plate. And we'll get into that. I guess y'all have probably seen the video. It's going to be out Thursday at 6 o'clock. We'll do a premiere. If y'all have questions, I will let you know also. The very first video I filmed on that, I came home from the range that day. I popped open the camera and I started filming, and I was pissed. I was pissed. That video, I wasn't using a great choice of language. My attitude was very, very bad because of the failure. I said a lot of things that honestly, I feel looking back at it, I probably would have had a defamation suit filed against me. Just being honest, it was not nice. So I let that video simmer. It's already loaded in YouTube, and I let it simmer for a couple of days. And then I said, you know what? I probably need to look at that video because I don't think I was in the right frame of mind when I filmed that video. So I looked at it and I was like, whoa. I had another person look at it and they were like, dude, you know, you might want to. And also, I was disassembling things in the video, which YouTube now, you couldn't really back then, but even now they would probably give me a strike. So because I was showing everybody the failure. I mean, to the T, uh, and that's a no. I still have that video. I haven't deleted it, but I made a new video. It's still very spicy. I still give my 100% opinion. Definitely better language, and I think it's going to come across better this way, not being a prick like I was before because I was mad. So there you go. Pistol Pete is saying CNH Precision is my hunch for the optic fail. You just have to wait, brother. Yeah, the video will drop tomorrow. SIG plates for the CZ. Yeah. Armsman is saying can't beat can't beat that Shadow 2 compact. I sleep with that thing. It's really a nice shooting gun. It definitely. I'll say this to y'all. It exceeded my expectation. I'll just go ahead and if anybody's on the fence, I'll just go ahead and tell you, you might want to get it. But what I'm excited about is testing it against the Staccato CS. I'm going to use Threat Cadres. I'm going to test it against my C2. I'm going to test it against my MPA 2011, my 4-inch. I'm going to test it against the PO7. I'm going to test it against my Glock 19X custom. I mean, I'm going to test it against a bunch of guns. Also, I'm even going to test it against its big brother, which is the Shadow 2, and mine's a custom Shadow 2. So I'm going to test it against that because I just want to see how it compares to all these other guns. And if y'all are interested in that, let me know. If you're like, man, that's a waste of time, don't do that, let me know too. Hello, Abigail. How are you? Hope you are doing well. G23 is in the house as well. Luminous Dave, how are you? Uh, Abigail says, I am not my bare minimum of gun jet. I still have categories to file and get training for. Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm still going to keep a plethora of guns because I've got family. I've got, if anything happened, I want to be able to help, my family members as well because a lot of them are not set up like I am. So I'm not just going to start dumping everything. So don't think that. A lot of people are like, oh my God, are you getting rid of everything? I'm like, no, 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 no. Pranic says, I don't own a shotgun or a Glock, I will claim. Like I've said, and I think everybody should have a Glock, like I've said, because if stuff gets really nasty, you're going to have to be able to find parts for it, mags for it. I mean, those things are freaking everywhere. You're not going to find everything for CZs or everything for 2011s or 1911s. Maybe a lot of stuff for 1911s, but most everything transfers over to 2011s. But every once in a while, something won't. Especially like your oh crap thing that hooks to your trigger that goes around your mag. A single stack won't fit around a double stack. I forget the damn name of it. I don't know why I can't remember, but y'all know what I'm talking about. There's a name for it. Four CZs and no man bun. I have way more than four CZs, Abigail. Come on, you've been around for a long time. I have way more than four CZs. That's just four CZs of one make. Yeah, I've got two P07s, two P09s, three P10Cs. One of them's a P10F. 75. Man, I've got a bunch of CZs. Glitch in the matrix. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a glitch in the matrix. Oh, man. Let's see here. Wish I'd get my mom to part ways with her 200,000 pieces of depression glass collection. Me or my two sisters don't want to screw with it either. Yeah. Oh, dude, Brian, I feel your pain. My parents, we have antiques, or of my grandparents. We have antiques, and I'm not joking around. I'll give you this little tidbit. We have my grandmother's bed that is a four-post bed, and you put it together with bolts this long. Those bolts were hand turned, and they're cast steel. Also, they're a 4 point. It's not a normal, you have to put it together with a freaking box end wrench or open end wrench. Um, that bed was made before the Civil War. On the back of the headboard, a general, from what I understand, that's the way it was appraised. A general actually scribed his name in it. Can't remember the name of the general. He scribed his name in it. We've got the documentation, we've got the paperwork, we've got everything on this bed because we had it appraised. I've got that freaking bed to deal with. Originally, that bed had a like 400-pound goose feather mattress on it, the original mattress. And when you lay in it, you would sink. You couldn't even see your body. You were in the bed. And I was like, we got to get rid of this thing. This thing is nasty. Um, so we ditched that. It's got a regular mattress on it, but we've got, all kinds of antiques. We've got dishes that my grandmother got in France when you had to be on a boat, and you would pick it up and it would be in a picnic basket. We've got all of that. We've got so much crap, and I'm just like, I don't want that shit. I don't want. And I've got some of my grandmother's. I've got all of her silver, a lot of her dishes, but I don't have everything. My mom has it, and I'm like, I don't want all that stuff. It's crazy. I just don't want all that shit. They have a big old house, and it's just full of that shit, and I don't want it. I don't want to deal with it. Send that rant video to me. Like I said, I've got it for backup in case anybody thinks, and I even in the video that I am going to put out, I say that I'm not lying. I've got the video proof. I've got the receipts. So, like I said, I gotta, I don't want to be, I want to give you all the information, but I don't want to be, I don't want to like completely rip apart a company because I understand they're like family owned and stuff like that. But it really, really pissed me off. And I'm in manufacturing myself. I manufacture parts, and if I put out parts like that, there's there's no way I would sleep. I don't sleep on my wallet. Your parts have to stand up for themselves. Yeah, the Glock 19 is a great pistol. It's a great pistol, Abigail. Nothing against it. Armsman is saying that's upsetting, especially on something that you're really looking forward to using. Yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you what, I'm an ex IA, that's an inspector rating. Um, I was an IA in aviation, master technician, the whole works, but I can pick specs out of fly shit. So I'm very tuned in to stuff where most people would not be. And they would just say, oh, that's okay, yeah, or they just don't know any different. But that's not me. I'm I'm very mechanical. And I already said when I installed that, I looked at it and I installed it perfectly correct. Just you'll see that in the video. And I looked at it and I was like, this is not right. This I even told myself. Matter of fact, I told Trigger Bar. I texted him even before I even shot the thing, and I said, this ain't right. I told Harry. I said, this thing ain't right. And sure enough, it did. And it didn't take long to do it. Yeah, the makes me wonder if you like the DWX compact. That grip is really nice. And here's another thing I thought about it, kind of answering Rich B's question originally. I forgot to say this. Okay, this gun is double action, single action. Okay, we all know that. DWX compact is single action. All my 2011s and 1911s are all single action. So I'd be getting a DWX compact, and I have the Staccato C2. I have the MPA, 4 inch. Not a whole lot of difference, other than you don't have a grip safety and things like that. But they're very comparable. I don't have, other than my PO7, I don't have a steel double action, single action. Well, take that back. I do, but it's my 1986 version. But I meant as far as a more modern type, I don't have a double action, single action in a steel slash alloy gun. So that was another thing that kind of made me think, you know what, might want to add that. So that's what I did. Oh, I get it, Pranic. Glocks are not my favorite at all. They're really not. Y'all all know that. I'm not a Glock fanboy. And I had to make that Glock the way that I wanted it. It didn't come that way. So I'm glad that I did mine the way, so I would like it. Let's see here. My local gun shop has such an abundance of inventory on used guns that they really are not accepting any trade ins at any kind of a reasonable price. I've never seen them have so many used guns before. That's exactly right. And that was also my thought process of, at the time, Texas Gun Experience was taking trade ins. And I was thinking, as we keep going through what we're going through now, it could be to the point where gun stores eventually are like, we're not taking anymore, no matter what. So I looked at that as an opportunity to dump three and get one. So that was another thought process that came into my head, Rich. I'm glad you brought that up. I told Harry about it, Trigger Bar. I talked to him all about it. Here's the deal. Okay, Lako's our guy. What do you think of the new Optic Ready CZ PO9 and PO9 Compact? Yeah, PO7. I think they're calling PO9 Compact and PO9 Full Size Neptune or whatever it's Neuron or whatever the name is. I think it's actually a really cool option. I will tell y'all this, in my opinion, I think the CZ PO7 and PO9 are completely underrated. I think they're way underrated. They're great guns. I think if you're looking for a polymer double action, single action, you cannot go wrong with a PO9 slash PO7. So this new one, what is it? What is the benefit of it? What does it add? It adds better grip texture, which I've always bitched about. If you followed me, that's why I've had mine stippled. A lot of them had them stippled because the stock sucked. So now it comes with the stippling. I bitched about them not being optic ready. Now they come optic ready, which is a great option. You can put, It is the 507K footprint, so you can put the 407, 507 EPS carry and the full size EPS on it. It will fit, but the EPS or full size will overhang just a little bit, but it's not anything bad. There's a video on it if you want to go find it. I watched it and I actually sent it to the guys just so they could see it. But those are the most common ones, so it gives you a good option. Also, your controls on the side are they stick out just a little bit more for smaller handed people, but it doesn't bother me. But I think it's going to help other people with the grip, etc. Also, it takes all existing old mags. It also, you can put the old slide on the new gun or the new slide on the old gun. So if you already have a P07, you can simply take that slide off, snap it over on your old one if you've got that frame stippled, and you're good to go. So also, if I wanted bigger controls for my older ones, I can buy those and put them on my older one. All that'll retro over. So I think it's a great option. I think they waited way too long to do it. And I was wondering when they discontinued the P09 and P07, I'm like, what the hell are they discontinuing them for? I mean, and this is the reason. I was told they weren't going to make another P07 or P09, but obviously I was wrong there, or what he told me was wrong. So there you go. Abigail says, I still have a few ounces of silver stashed away. Yeah, I've got a bunch of silver and I have some gold. I'm a big, y'all don't know this, but I do collect a bunch of silver coins and also paper. Got some old paper money. Ranger, I have not. I have looked through them. They look really good. I don't think you can go wrong with them. And I think everybody's going to have good luck with them. No, I'm not going to open up an antique shop. That's the reason I want that shit gone. Nope. Don't want to deal with it. I have a few things from my grandmother here, but my wife has completely redone them. Got one of her smaller curio cabinets, and if y'all ever seen all my cowboy hats, they hang on a hall tree, and that actually is like 150 years old, but my wife redid it, which is a sin, honestly, but I wanted it, and then I wanted it to look more modernized, so my wife took care of that. Oh, I've got it. Like I said, if people call me a liar, you think I give two shits. I don't care what people think. I do what I want. But I do have it. So if they piss me off or if something happens, I'll release the damn thing. I don't care. I'll just say part two or the original cut. Yeah, they don't want to mess with me. Put it that way. Thinking specs out of fly shit is how I describe my standards for the guns I build. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty meticulous. I want shit done just the way I want it done. And I get that a lot. Double action, single action is comforting to carry, and I understand that. I've always recommended to people because the greatest thing, God, I would pick that up, but I can't because for one, I'll show some stuff I shouldn't show, and also I'm letting it cure. Just I'm that way. But yeah, as you're putting it in your holster, you put your thumb on the back of the hammer as you're putting it in. If your hammer were to ever grab, it's going to try to move the hammer back. If you get your thumb on it, the trigger's not going to move, even if something was hung on the trigger guard. So there is a benefit to carrying that. And I do recommend it for a lot of new shooters because I can hand a 2011, and I've done it before. I can hand a 2011 to somebody and they can shoot it pretty decent, even a brand new shooter. I hand them a double action gun, double action, single action with a really heavy pull on the first pull. If it's a decocker, they can just decock it real quick. And that's not even full. That's like a quarter cock. And they're like, then they can see the sight start shaking, and then I can watch the pull, and I'm like, okay, if you train with a double action, single action, it will make you better with a single action and a striker fire gun. So that actually helps too, because you get that muscle build up in that finger. It will help you. And they're just great guns. Hello, Bald and Curious. How are you doing, brother? Woo. Pistol Pete, if a civil war broke out today, what would it look like? That's because I think it's already here, and we're losing more battles every day. We're going to have rioting in the streets, just like what you're seeing. Civil unrest. You're going to have people, if you live in an urban environment. I'm talking if you live in like an apartment or a condo or something like in a downtown area, you're going to be hit pretty quickly. Uh, if you live out in farm community, probably not going to happen. I doubt people are going to start piling in trucks and driving out to your 10 acres to do damage because you can pick them off at the street. Um, it's going to be looting, theft, cars. It's going to be what you've been seeing, and yeah, it's kind of here or kind of already happening. But it can definitely get worse. Put it that way. I don't like any of the CZs that use the Omega system. I get it. A lot of people don't. They're kind of old school. That's completely cool. I do like some of the Omega setups because I don't get that super curved trigger. If y'all have followed, I get every time I like with my old PO1, that thing used to grind. I mean, I would be bleeding. I would shoot a couple hundred rounds and I would have blood from the tip of my finger because it just poked me there. But that's a big hand problem. Most people are never going to feel that or see it. Hello, Chris. How are you doing, brother? If y'all haven't checked out Chris, he went to the GOA. Check out some of his videos. Brother Chris. Taprack Brad is saying, did you see the new P10 release was pushed from September 2024 to sometime in 2025? That does not surprise me. I think Colt is really, I think it's also a money issue, but I think Colt is, God, I hope it didn't happen, but Colt already ruined themselves back in the day. CZ bailed them out, and now Colt is pretty much running CZ. So I don't know, but yeah, that sucks. I was looking forward to seeing what they were going to be offering, but I heard that it got pushed back, but I didn't know it was till 2025. But nothing surprises me. What I find on the Omega, and here's the thing: when you shoot it for like the first 200, 300, 400 rounds, people are just like, it's okay. But man, I'm telling you, mine are really broken in. They feel really good to me. I'm used to a double action, single action. I mean, y'all got to remember, I used to shoot double action only back in the day. I'm talking the 12-pound triggers, every freaking pull. And that was when I was even younger, not so much now. But so, I'm kind of used to it. Um, I'm not saying I'm super proficient or I'm the pistol master because y'all know I'm not. I'm not going to claim to be anything I'm not. But the Omega doesn't really bother me. Once it's good and broken in, I think it's a great gun. And I kind of like it for the simplicity of it. Oh God. Clyde, yeah, I can. All right. The grips and the staccatos. The new C is going to be a 16 round mag. It's a proprietary mag. Then they're going to have a C that holds 19 rounds. That is a proprietary mag. It's basically the same as the C you're seeing now, but it's longer. They have a 4-inch barrel. Your CS has a proprietary mag, but it's got the 3.6 barrel. So the C and the CS take the exact same mags. When you get into the C2, it's a little more thick and a little more, girthy, so to say, and it takes the standard 2011 mags like Atlas and, Infinity and all these other 2011s that you see other than Bull Armory. Bull Armory has their own proprietary mags, but it takes the large bodied mag. The C, the CS, all those, they take this more of a, it kind of looks like a SIG mag, kind of. So it's a skinny mag. So that's really the difference. I'm highly invested in the standard 2011 mag. So if I were to buy the CS or the C, then I would have to buy all new mags other than what it comes with because they are proprietary to those frames. So I hope that helps, but that is the way that it works. Let's see here. At first, I was like, about the PO9s, but saw one at my local gun store today. Very nice. I'm definitely considering one. A little late, but I think they're trying to get rid of all the old models. Yeah, and if you've got one of the old models, you can have it milled. If you've got a PO7 or a PO9, you can have it milled. Some places it's like under $200 to have it milled, and then you can have it Cerakoted or whatever you choose to do. So, do you want to spend $200 to have yours milled, or do you want to buy a whole new gun for $600 or $559 or whatever they are? So, just something if you don't have one at all, then yeah, I'd recommend getting the new one because you're kind of getting everything. But I think that they're great grips. They got a really good undercut on them. The hell they hold a good capacity. Um, the compact, what is it, 15 rounds, but I run plus twos. And then the PO9 is 19 plus one. And then I've got even got extensions on those. So I think I've got, what are they, plus fours, plus fives on some of my mags, not all of them. And that's another thing, man. As far as the P10, and here's another great thing. If people don't know this, most of y'all might. The P10 mags fit the PO7 and the PO9 if they're long enough. If you got the P10F mags, they will fit a PO9. So all those mags are compatible. So the PO7, PO9, P10C, P10F, if they're the right length, they all fit the same mags. So that's another reason I have so many of those, because I have so many freaking mags. On the P10 family, I've probably got, as a whole, I've probably got 40 mags. I mean, I've got a lot of mags for those. I don't just buy one or two mags. I'm just that way. Do you need that many mags? No. But I've got a lot of mags. Yep, it is, Brian. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yep. Catch back up here. Sorry if I'm missing questions. I'm trying to get to y'all. Yeah, I agree, Scott. That's what I was saying. Rural areas aren't going to be affected. Yep, M Carbo kit. Yep, I've seen those. Hello, DB. Nice to see you. Let's see here. I've never shot a single action, double action, semi-automatic, only revolvers. Is the trigger pull the same as with the revolver, with the double action being a very long pull? Yes, it is. I would say it's lighter than most of the antiquated or older type revolvers. Could be equal to some of them now. It's probably, your double action on a lot of those is about 10 pounds. Your single action, though, even on a brand new PO7, PO9, your single action is like, it's under 4 pounds. It's like 3.7 pounds. I've got mine down to like 3 pounds, 1 ounce. But they're good and worn in. So that's the thing. On the first pull, you get that really heavy double action, which means you mean to shoot. The rest of them are butter. That's what a lot of people really like about them. Now, the Shadow 2 compact is different. It does have a heavy pull at first, but I would guess it's about 9 pounds. I'll put it on a trigger gauge, not here, but I'll do it. But I'm guessing it's about 9 pounds. But then after that, but it's a very smooth 9 pounds. It's not a glitchy 9 pounds. And on your PO7s and PO9s, when you buy those, they're going to feel kind of crunchy, but that's just till they break in. Once they break in, they're butter. But the compact does not have that. You think Shadow 2 new optic cut for $9.99 shipped is a decent price? Yeah, that's not a bad price. I've seen them cheaper. Um, you can get it milled too, like I said before, for like a couple $100, and then it's really all you need. If you want it milled, if you don't, then the sights are fine. I just, I would rather have a dot just because of my vision. I'm a dot guy. It's really hard. I don't want to say it's hard. It's harder for me to shoot irons now. Can I do it? Yes. Do I like to do it? No, because I don't have to. That's really the reason. I'm just being honest. So, yeah, if you, I mean, Shadow 2, that's one thing I want to test the Shadow 2 Compact against my Shadow 2. Um, I think that's going to be interesting, even for myself, not just so much for videos, just for myself. And remember, Armsman's on here. Or if y'all want to use a discount code, I don't make anything on it, but it's BJGG10. That saves y'all 10% and free shipping. So go to his website and order up. But he makes a lot of stuff that isn't even on his website. Yeah, you can, Pistol Pete. That's what I was saying. You can switch the slides and everything. So it would be in the best interest to get into the standard mags, which would be at least C2 and up. Well, if you're wanting to be invested in 2011 mags, because that's a bad thing. You buy one 2011, you're probably going to want more. So yes, in that case, I would recommend the C2 because you can stay with the standard mags. And then if you wanted to get, the P or the XC or an Atlas or an Infinity or a Phoenix Trinity or whatever, you already have the mags. But here's the thing: if you get the C2, you're going to get the 16 round mags as well, and then you'll get like two 20 round mags. The 20 round mags will fit in a full size. The 16 will not because it's too short. So I mean that kind of makes sense. But if you're a newbie, you might not understand that. So if you go to a larger frame, you're going to need a larger mag. But yes, it's the same footprint of the mag or the same body and everything. Yeah, there you go. You make them. We haven't had any at our company. I have seen some with the manufacturers. Ford just announced they're laying off 1,000 blue or white collar, mostly software people, things like that. GM is also kind of doing some things as far as layoffs. They are pushing a lot of packages to older people, like retirement packages. Um, Everything's getting shaken up a little bit, but nothing at my company is really happening, so knock on wood. 6 beans for an SPO1. Uh, DB, in my opinion, that's a little high for an SPO1, especially if it's used. If it's used. If it's new, I've seen them a little bit lower new, um, but if it's used, that's too high. If it's for a plain SPO1, if it's tricked out, maybe like a Shadow one, yeah, that's a good price. Rail with the safety and decock. Um, yeah, that's a standard tactic. That's not the. I don't think they call it the tactical because it doesn't have the suppressor sights. But I mean, they're great guns. The SPO1 is a great gun. Is the CZP10 still in production? Well, I mean, I've still seen them for sale, so I'm assuming either that or they just have a lot of the older ones. Yeah, MPA doesn't make their mags anymore. They get them from MBX. Um, but yeah, they MBX makes mags for a lot of guns. PO1 is better than the SPO1. Yeah, SPO1 is full size though. PO1 is compact, crank. But yeah, MPA uses MBX mags. That's who they use now, and MBX makes awesome mags. Even the benefit, y'all don't know this, or well, maybe you do. I did a video on it, but it was a long time ago. You might have not seen it, but MBX makes one. I forget the name of it. It's in the video, but they make an 18 round mag for the Staccato C2. So when I carry my C2, I've got 18 rounds plus one in the pipe, so it's 18 plus one, and it's I mean, it just maybe that big, maybe it sticks out about that far. I mean, it's not much longer at all. On the EV mandate, what do you mean? You're Brian? You? What do you mean EV mandate? Your state's requiring you have an EV? Damn, I didn't know they were requiring that. The EV market's dead, other than Tesla. That's another thing. As far as Chevy, Ford, man, they've got those things sitting. A lot of them are about to have a birthday. It's bad. M&P 22 Magnum, I don't have any experience with it, but the M&P 22 Magnum, I mean, the round is rimfire. It's not center fire, so it's going to be as reliable as the ammo. So you're still going to have um, some light primer strikes on some of those. But that's for the people that just jumped in, the gun that I'm talking about doing, like I said, is one that I really love. Um, I mean, I really love it, but I just don't shoot it anymore because I don't have a dot on it. So I'm thinking of doing a custom conversion on this one and to kind of bring it up to modern specs, kind of above modern specs, and make it like a one of one. It would be one you've never seen before with the ideas that I've got on it, and the color and the type that I would want on it. I think it would be really, really, really cool. I'm excited about it. I was talking to him before the chat. He didn't know that I had the live chat coming, so we only talked for about 8 or 9 minutes because he literally called me right before the chat started. And so I'm going to check in with him tomorrow. We're going to kind of kick around some ideas. He's got some really good ideas, and that's why any company that I work with, I don't work with, I'll get started with them over email, but I like to have a number, a telephone number, and a relationship with them. I like to feel them out. They feel me out. I want to see if we're on the same page. I want to see if I like what they're doing, which you can check out on a lot of Instagrams and stuff like that, but I don't do Instagram. But I like those type of relationships where I can even drive in and talk to them. This particular company is in the areas that I drive to as well, so I would love to go by and do their shop and maybe do like a shop tour. Maybe film some of it if they're interested. Maybe even have them on a chat once we work together if everything pans out and I like what they're offering. I'd love for that to happen. And I like to see smaller shops grow. If y'all know anything about me, when I started with Lock Grips, they were basically a two-man operation. It started really as a one-man operation, and now I think they have almost probably a dozen or more employees. Matter of fact, they've moved. They're having to move into a new building. They're in the process of a move right now. It was delayed at first, but now they're able to get into it. I've already gotten pictures of the new facility. It's nice and so much bigger. They have grown substantially, and I'm not saying because of me only. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're getting big because they make great products. So that is one reason that I really, really, not just because, well, and also I will only recommend products that I personally use and that I personally like. I've worked with some companies in the past, and they're like, "Oh, our products are great." I get them; they're not great, in my opinion. So I don't recommend them. I don't push them. Uh, Matter of fact, I just had one that I'm dealing with now. They sent me a product. I tried it. Matter of fact, y'all probably saw a video on it, and I'm not real sold on it. So, but I'm going to readdress it, relook at it on a different platform, and see if it works better on that. So that's kind of where I am with that. Look at Clyde here. He thinks he knows me. I know you, or I know what it is to have some Longhorn Orange in the project. It could, maybe. Yeah, hell yeah. I told you, hell, I said this 6 months ago when that round came out. I said it's going to be dead. It is going to be dead. Smith and Wesson are giving away those Shield 30 super carries literally for $239. My gun stores have dumped all of them. They won't order another one. They don't want anything to do with that. Also, the ammo they have, if they have any left, it has about that much dust on it. I knew it wouldn't take off. You don't need it. It's something nobody asked for. Not saying it's bad if you own it. That's what you like. That's what you like. It does give you, sometimes one more round, sometimes two more round capacity. So that's not a bad thing. But it's just, it is, you know, I just saw that it was going to be dead on arrival. I was like, what the hell are y'all doing this for? You can go back and watch the old chats. I was like, nope, this ain't going to work. Yeah. I mean, it was right up there with kind of 224 Valkyrie. I was like, what's the deal with this? And I know people that invested in the 224 Valkyrie, and now they're like, I can't even get rid of the freaking rifle. And I'm like, kind of told you. Which, and I had this question asked to me the other day. What would I like to see a resurgent? Because 10 millimeters had a resurgent. Everybody thinks it's brand new. That's new to it, but what has it been out since like 85 or 86? Not saying it's a bad round, it's a great round. But 10 millimeters had a resurgence. I'm a big 45 guy just because old school, just it's classic. That's the only reason. Um, does it do anything great? No, not really. But I just like it. And it's not going anywhere. It's going to be around forever. Hell, they still make 1911s in 45. Um, but what I would like to see a resurgence of is 38 Super. I just think it's such a cool round. It's just a classic round. It was around for a long time. It's expensive. It's not cheap. But I just think it's such a cool round. I always loved shooting a 38 Super 1911. I mean, it was just so damn cool. Every time I got the opportunity to shoot one, and what's crazy is I've never owned one. I've never owned a 38 Super. But every time I got the opportunity to shoot one, I was excited. I was like, oh, hell yeah. A buddy of mine used to have, what is it called, a trophy? Was it called a Colt trophy match? I think that's what it was called. A Colt trophy match, 38 Super. And that gun was so fun to shoot. So fun to shoot. Yeah, Pistol Pete said 38 Super. I just saw that. I'm scrolling down here. Yeah, Taco Rob. Yeah, I remember those. Oh, shit. Did I miss your question? I'm sorry, Bagger. Thoughts on my previous question. Let me go back and see if I can find it. I'm sorry about that. I must have went right by it. Let me see here. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. Thoughts on the DWX compared to a double stack 1911? I already have a CZ Custom Shadow 2. I feel like I'd be buying the same. In my opinion, you would. The only benefit of that is you're getting, it does take CZ P10F mags, but you're also getting a single action. So your Shadow 2, unless it's single action, if you've converted it or you bought the single action Shadow 2, there would be a difference because you would have a double action, single action in your Shadow 2, and you would have a single action in your DWX. If you love the grip and being able to change, or love the ergonomics and being able to change the grips and all of that other stuff, that's where the DWX would benefit you over a 2011. Because if you buy a 2011, you're going to invest in those mags. They're not cheap. The P10F mags are way cheaper than 2011 mag, good 2011 mags. But yeah, it's going to feel the same, but it's going to be single action. So if you had a single action Shadow 2 and a DWX, those are very comparable, if that helps. But I'm a big 2011 fan, huge 2011 fan. So do not get that messed up. I love 2011s. So if you don't own a 2011, I would experience a good 2011, in my opinion. Let's see, Big J, I've got a 308. What's the pros and cons of getting a 6.5 Creedmoor upper or just stay with 308? 6.5 is flatter shooting, less recoil, and longer distances. Um, and the farther you go, the less oomph you're going to have on a 6.5. If you want it for punching through car doors, if you want it for pig hunting up close or closer, um, I'd say like what's an easy way to say this so YouTube doesn't hit me. If you want a little more devastation within 400 yards, I would say 308. If you never intend to go past 500 or 600 yards, I would stay 308. If you want to stretch your legs out and you want it flatter, you don't want to have to dial up as much and things like that, I would recommend 308. If you want to dial and or less dial and you want a hell of a lot of distance and a flatter shooting trajectory, I would say 6.5. There you go. It's really not a wrong or a right. If you're not heavily invested in 308, like heavily invested, I'm talking, tons of 308 ammo and stuff like that, and you want a 6.5, you can. The only thing is on a 6.5, it is going to chew up your barrel quicker. You're going to be changing if it's a good accuracy or good accurate 6.5. After about 1,000 rounds, you're going to have to change the barrels. 308, you're not going to. You won't ever probably shoot out a 308 barrel. You will on a 6.5. And also with a 6.5, usually you need a longer barrel to get the true ballistics out of a 6.5, where you don't with a 308. As usually, most people, the way that they state it is you can use an 18-inch 308 versus a 24-inch 6.5. Now, I'm not a long-distance professional. I'm just going by what I've been told by people that I truly trust. Not just a bunch of whiz-bang people. Yeah, basically trigger bar summed it up. So the BC, okay. Hey, Rock Chalk, how are you, sir? Ooh, great question. Yeah, I'm a comp guy. I'm looking for a gun with a comp. Does a comp really help or make a noticeable difference? Yes. If you have a comp that is a true designed comp, okay, I'm talking true design comp, not just some, and I'm just going to say the name because I've used some of theirs and I do not like them. Some Strike Industry comps. They're just a piece of aluminum you screw on there. There's really no true angled porting, which pushes down the gun substantially. Um, they just look cool. But if you get a true comp, yes, you will notice a difference. Usually, even with 9, I mean, hell, what's crazy is I've proven it. I've shown it on video. Even with my 22s, I will put a tandem cross comp on my 22s, the before and the after. And it's even flatter on a 22 because it pushes that gas out. It's just ramming that gas out of there. I'm a huge comp guy. Also, if I do, where it really shows with me is if I just sit there and I just go with a regular gun, and then I grab the same exact gun, and I've done it with my PO7s, I've done it with my P10Cs. So I've taken my regular P10, shot it, bang, 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 then taken the comp version, bang, 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 bang. The groups are tighter with the comp. Same freaking guns. I've done it with the PO7 comp and non-comp, the P10C comp and non-comp. I did it with the staccato comp and non-comp. I did it with the what are the gun? I did it with my Glock comped and non-comp. Um, but yes, if you get the right comp, it does make a difference. No, porting does. That's what a lot of people think. Yeah, Stealth Arms Platypus. Yeah, I recommend it. I talked about it, I think, last week or the week before. But yeah, I highly recommend it, especially if you're invested in Glock mags. Great option. I don't think there's a damn thing wrong with them. I would get the bull barrel, I'd get the RMR cut, and I would get the more aggressive grip for myself. That's just my opinion. But yes, Russell, the comps actually go on the end of the barrel, so they're out on the end. You don't lose velocity. if you get porting where you're drilling into the barrel towards, like it shortens you're letting gases out before the bullet exits. That's where you will lose velocity more, way more than any kind of comp. So thanks, Lake Ozark guy. I appreciate you, brother. Thumbs up, everybody. Yep, that would help. Yeah, I'm a big comp guy. I love comps. And I look at it this way: if you can squeak out just that much better, why not? If you can handle the length, which I can, I'm a bigger guy. Some people might not be able to, or they don't know if they can because they haven't tried. But hell, I've carried Glock 17Ls. Not hell, I even carried a Comp, which is a freaking long ass gun. I've carried a Glock 34. Y'all, if y'all go way back, I carried a Glock 34 forever because I was shooting in competition. I've carried 5-inch 1911s, or Commander, whatever the hell you call them. I mean, I've carried big guns before. They don't bother me, other than some of the weight on them. You carry them a lot, like I used to on 1911s, it can make you walk funny. You can kind of be walking to the right because I always carried on the right side. Oh, here we go. Really good question, Rich. Regarding 9mm ammo, if you can get 115 and 124 and it's the exact same price, what would I buy? I would buy 124 because I try to shoot as much of the same grain as what I carry. Now, is it as powerful? Is it loaded as precise? No, it's not. But I try to shoot as much 124 as I can because I carry 124. So that's just if you can get it for the exact same price. I do have a shitload of 115, a ton of 115. I don't mind shooting it, but you're going to get more pop, a little more recoil with 115 as well. A lot of people think it's the opposite. That's not true. You're going to get more pop with a 115. 147 is the flattest because it's the heaviest, but I like to have the middle of the road. The 115 super fast in velocity, 147 slow. I kind of like to have the 124. I've never waxed a shotgun slug before. Never done that. No, never done that. I've shot a lot of cut shells, which we won't talk about, but never waxed a shotgun slug before. I'm running a 1 to 10 on my 308. Is that enough glass instead of 500 yards? Yeah, I mean, you can make it work. You can make it work. I prefer more magnification because I have not great of eyes, not like I used to. But yeah, you can make that work. What's up, Florian? How are you, man? Where are you this week, brother? 357 SIG. That ain't no joke. 357 SIG is legit. That is a legit round. And that's another thing. Yeah, I would like to see that come back. I mean, 357 SIG. I love 357 SIG. I've got, what do I have? I think I've got 2 guns that shoot 357 SIG. Any thoughts on the new Smith & Wesson compact carry with a comp? I think it's a great option. If you want a small gun, I don't think you can go wrong with it. I mean, Smith & Wesson's, the shields are proven. They've been around forever. With a comp, I could only see that as a benefit. I personally haven't shot one. I have seen one in a store, but I don't have any firsthand experience shooting it. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be a great option. I know it's selling. People are buying it. Have you seen Fusion Arms is now releasing a 2011 that uses the Glock mags? Really nice. Hopefully, it works as well as the Platypus. Yeah, I thought I sent you that link. I saw that video from the owner. Yeah, I think that's a cool option. Plus the price point's what, like 11 or 1200 bucks, and I think that's a really cool thing. And they're saying, and that's another thing, you can get it in tuxedos, so you can get the stainless slide. That would be really cool. I mean, I think it would be a great option. I just personally, don't have any experience with it. Yeah, I know a lot of people that run comps on their 43X, and it does really tame them down. It does. So if you can find the right comp, a good comp, I would recommend Harrington Arms. Harrington Arms makes a great comp. I ran theirs on my Glock before I put the Ramjet on it. It's a little longer, but it was a great comp. That thing really, really worked. So I would recommend Harrington Arms. Check those guys out. They make great products. They don't pay me or any of that, but they make a great comp. Scott carries a Glock 34 and 17L. Yeah. Make it more water resistant. I don't know, maybe he's talking about somebody else. Let me catch back up here. Oh, he's in St. Petersburg, Florida. There you go. Cool. You're getting some sunshine. Yeah, a lot of the VP9s prefer 124. They don't like 115. Yeah, I keep thinking somebody's going to come out with a 357 Sig again, but man, I haven't seen those things in forever. And if you find them, people want a fortune for them, and then it's harder to find ammo because the ammo is so freaking expensive because it's not mainstream anymore. It's kind of like 10 millimeter back in the day, when it fell out of love, I guess, or whatever, back before it got a resurgence. For one, if you found it, it was really expensive, or you just couldn't find it at all. Like people quit buying it, or stores quit buying it to keep it in stock because nobody was shooting it. Now it's everywhere, and the prices have came way down from what they used to be. So that's great. Oh, I agree. 357 is a very niche round. I do agree, but that's just like that's like some of the other ones that are out. That's kind of like the super carry. I mean, that thing fell off the face of the earth. I think I said I give it 6 months and it's gone. I think it was less than 6 months. Yeah, I agree with that. In my opinion, I would take the G48 over the G43X. Not why sure why the 43 has so much more traction. I own both and prefer the 48. And here's what I'll say, Armsman, like kind of like what we were talking before. If you're able to put a comp on the 43X, it's going to make it a 48. Also, you can have a little more length, but the comp is going to help, and you'll have a little more velocity too, which is never a bad thing if you can get more velocity, have a little more length. That's the thing, even with the threaded barrel. If it's a screw-on comp, you've got maybe a half-inch more barrel. That increases velocity. A lot of people don't realize that. And it's probably not dramatic. Trigger Bar could probably tell you he's got, he checks all the whiz bang stuff. And hopefully I'm not talking out of my ass, but um, even a half inch could give you some more velocity, I would believe. I don't know that for a fact, but I would assume it would give you something. I'm not saying dramatic, but it could be, maybe 30 FPC, 20, something like that. I would assume. Yep. Man, I still love 45. I mean, I'm telling you, Pistol Pete, I am a 45 guy. I still love 45. I get so much hate on that every time I talk about 45 in a video. People are like, "Oh, you old fud." I hear that shit all the time. I'm like, man, I just like it. I grew up on it. A lot of people haven't, but I like it, so that's all that matters. Yeah, and you could go, you can get a 357 Sig barrel for your Glock. I know people who have done that, but what is it? You buy the 40 cal Glock and then put the 357 barrel in it. Is that what it was? The conversion? I remember everybody used to do that back in the day. But that's one option. You could have a 357 if you wanted one. That's the thing about the 43. Now the 43X is better. The regular 43, I can only get like, I think, freaking one and a half fingers on it. So it doesn't work for me, but I know it would work for a lot of people. If you can stuff it in your pocket, man, shit, roll with it. But I'm telling you, you put a comp on it, a good comp, you'll be able to tell the difference. You'll even appreciate it more. If you like the gun, you'll appreciate it more because those little bitty guns, in my hands, man, I mean, I can still kind of crunch down on them, but they still move a lot. I mean, could I hit a target if I had to? Yeah, 7, 10 yards. But if I had to take a precision shot where I really needed precise, that would not be the gun I would choose. I mean, me personally. If I had to hit like an ear or something really small, that'd be pretty difficult for me, just being honest. 45 pounds of hate. Yeah. No, I used to say 45. What I didn't say pounds of hate. I said, what did I say? Oh, God, I can't remember what. 45 grains of hate. I used to say 45 grains of hate. Or, I'm sorry, 230 grains of hate. That's what I used to say. Yep, 230 grains of hate. So 230 grains of hate coming at you. Yeah. And that is the thing. On my 45, I've got multiple loads for my 45. I've got 210. I've got 200. Man, that shit's fast for a 45. I've got 200 grain. I've got 190 grain. All my defensive rounds are 230 grain, but I've got a bunch of different loads for my 45s, and I'm loaded. I mean, heavily loaded on 45 ammo. Heavily loaded. Yeah, Pistol Pete, I appreciate you, brother, because I am telling you, man, it's been a while. And you know what's crazy is when I go out and shoot 45, I mean, I have 45s, but there's one gun, and if y'all follow me, this will be a good test for the loyal people. If I want to go shoot a 145, which one am I shooting? If I'm going to the range and I'm going to shoot 45, one gun, am I always taking? We're going to see who the real OGs are here. That's what we're going to see. And this will be a great test. Boom! God dang! STI 1911, Pistol Pete. Hell yeah. You are the man. You are the man. My custom STI 1911. Oh, Luminous was right there. But he didn't say STI. Clyde said STI. Yeah, they don't make them anymore. It is the OG 1911. However, mine's not stock. It's completely converted or completely customized. And I tell you what, I love that freaking gun. Holy shit, I love that gun. When I first got it back, I had to I had to rebend the the ejector. It was out of tune, so I had to tune that ejector. I put new springs in it, and man, that thing is a freaking tight driver. God dang, that gun is fun. Yep, the camo one. Casey, you got it. That's the one. That thing, Vulcan Machine Works did that gun, and that thing was phenomenal. However, they had to pull the extractor, they had to pull everything apart because they camoed it. But here's the thing on that gun, it probably needed the extractor adjusted, but when I got it back, I was shooting it and it wasn't ejecting properly. And I was like, okay, I got to tune the extractor. So I put it in a vise, bent it, put it in, ran it, put it in a vise. I got it perfect. That thing runs like a freaking sewing machine now. God, that is a fun gun. And there is nothing going out and slinging 230 grains of hate. I mean, that thing is a freaking wallop. When you shoot that gun, you can hear it thunk, thunk, thunk. I mean, it just hammers that freaking paper. Because it's throwing a freaking 230 grain pill out there. But yeah, that thing is a hammer. Now, granted, it doesn't have the velocity that 9 has. We know all that because it's freaking 230 grains. But you get hit with that, you're gonna have a big old ass hole in you. Be able to stick some pocket change in there for damn sure. Oh, it does, Pistol Pete. Man, when I'm shooting, y'all probably seen videos when I'm shooting that thing. I got a big old smile on my face. Look like I just robbed a bank. Yeah, here's Armsman. He's saying I always purchase my Glocks and M&Ps in 40. Get conversion barrels for 9 through 57. Yep. I mean, that's the smart thing to do because, man, you can pick up 40 cal Glocks for like freaking nothing. I saw one the other day that was, well, one the other day. It was probably like a month ago, but they had it at GT Distributors, and it was a Gen 3 Glock, and it was pretty hammered. It was a LE, it was an old LE conversion or LE trade in. It was pretty hammered. But man, they were selling that thing for like 210 bucks, but it was hammered. But I was like, shit, you could buy that 40 cal, you could throw you a barrel in it. Shit, you'd be good to go. All right, question. Which is more gun friendly to get rid of excess grease on a gun? Acetone or kerosene? Also, with the green work, cleaner work too? Uh, mm, I'm not a big proponent of acetone because it can stain a finish. Kerosene, you can use it. It's definitely old school. I've used it many times. I would just stay with a CLP cleaner. You can kind of get it broken down enough. I've even done it on old AKs back in the day because I used to have quite a few AKs. I don't have any anymore, but I used to have some. I try to stay away from some of that because the only thing is you're sitting there breathing that shit, and it can give you a big damn headache. Um, so I would use CLP and a rag and a brush, and I could scrub them up pretty good and get a lot of that shit off there. Um, Acetone, I use it for very specific reasons, for removing paint and things like that. If you get it on a weaker finish, it's not, it's not bonded very well. It can kind of leave discoloration. Kerosene won't, but kerosene is an oil base, and it can make it really sticky. So that's why, back in the day we always used kerosene, but I'm not a huge kerosene fan. A lot of people used to do that when they packed bearings, even on cars, they use kerosene. I've just never been a huge proponent of it because it's really gooey and really slick. So CLP will work, but I would stay with that. If you were going to buy a 45 caliber today, which one would you get? I would get a 1911. It's the OG. I would probably get a Dan Wesson. I have heard since Colt took over, the quality's not maybe as what it used to be, but I would definitely get a 1911 just because it's, God made it that way. They didn't make 46 at the time. So that's what I would get. Best budget. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Ooh, best budget 1911 45. Here's where you get into problems. You can get T-Sauce and all these other ones. You're going to get what you pay for. I would just save your money and I would step up to I'm not saying T-Sauce is bad. I'm not saying that. But I would save up some money and I would get a Dan Wesson. The reason being is more bang for the buck, more trade in value. If you decide you don't like it or you ever need to get rid of it for money, you're going to get more money. I try to look at every aspect of them. Very, you know, that's just the way my mindset is. I don't buy budget shit because budget shit, you take the hit on it. And then when you trade it in, you take another hit on it. So I try to stay away from a lot of the budget stuff. But Dan Wesson, you're going to get a great quality gun. You're going to enjoy it, and it's going to last you. You're not going to have any problems with it. I've yet to see a Dan Wesson that has problems. So that's why I tend to lead people that way. I've had SIGs that weren't good, and these were the Scorpion, the little Scorpion FDE model. It was a piece of shit. I broke the hammer. I broke the freaking trigger. I stay away from that MIM bullshit. And as of today, I guess you're not getting any MIM parts with a Dan Wesson. And there's a lot of shit made with MIM. I get it. CZ or not CZ, Glock. There's a lot of things that make MIM, but I've seen a lot of MIM shit fail personally, and I've had MIM shit fail. So I'm not a MIM fan at all. If I can stay away from it, I want to. Ballistol? Yeah, Ballistol's good shit too. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Acetone is pretty freaking harsh. I mean, it can really mess up a finish. You don't ever want to use it on a Cerakoted gun for damn sure. But I've seen it leave like really piss poor, like it'll gray it. So you'll look at your slide finish afterwards, you have all this real pretty black, and then you have this gray area, and you wipe it and wipe it and wipe it, and it's already soaked into the pores, and you're done. So you ain't getting it off. Yeah, I'm not bashing T-sauce. I mean, I heard real great reviews. They don't use any mem parts. They use forged parts, but you're also getting forging that it's kind of some of it's kind of antiquated when you look at it. I'm like, man, you can't get a precise sear on here. And what you run into is if you want to upgrade the trigger, say you want to take the T-sauce and you want to upgrade the trigger, you're going to do a lot of stoning on that to really get it flat. Just more blending. Um, some of them on the 1911s that I've pulled, the triggers are pretty horrendous for a 1911. I'm like, I was getting like almost a 5 pound pull on a freaking 2011, and I'm like, good lord, this is like a freaking this more than a striker fire gun. Not on every one. It was just the example I was, it was there, but you know, that's what you run into sometimes with those type of guns where you don't with other guns. So, like I said, I'm not knocking on them. Yeah, and I've used a lot of carburetor cleaner. Scott's right. You can use carburetor cleaner. Yeah, IBG. We talked about that earlier. The Nocturne. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. So you can jump back there, and I don't want to tie up on. God dang, we've gone way over. I didn't realize that. I didn't even know what the time was. Let me catch back up here. Sorry, I've missed some questions. Um, yeah, Rock Island. The only thing about Rock Island I don't like, Scott, is man, it's got some really sharp edges on it. If you're new to a 2011, 1911, and you're playing around with it, I mean, I've seen guys bleed from them. Now, I kind of know what to expect, and I'm not saying every one of them are like this, but sometimes you can get one that hasn't been deburred, and it's got some pretty sharp areas on it, and it will irritate a lot of people and piss them off. So, and then I get asked this question all the time on the PO7, PO9. Which one do I prefer? Since y'all were talking about those, if I were going to buy one, okay, if I now it's called the PO9 compact and the PO9 full size. So if I were going to buy one, just to buy one, honestly, I would buy the compact. Um, it's weird. I shoot my PO7 a little bit better, not drastically, but I shoot my PO7 a little bit better, even with XXL hands. I shoot my PO7 a little bit better than my PO9. Why is that? I have no freaking idea. Because I shoot my P10F really good. I shoot my P10C really good. There's really not a comparison there. It's just on the PO7 and the PO9. So I don't know why that is. But if I was only going to buy one today, it would be the compact. So, and that's weird for me to say that. I'm seeing it a lot. You're not the only one, Armsman. I'm starting to see the Canik TTI on used shelves, seeing 3 or 2 different shops. You're exactly right. I've seen a ton of them. I've even seen the new Terran Tactical one. I saw 2 of those used. Oh man, that was good. I needed that. Um, Not saying they're bad guns. I don't know if it's just like, I keep thinking when I see some of these guns, I'm like, why the hell do they trade it in? And then I'm like, okay, the economy sucks. Somebody might have had to pay their rent. Somebody might have had to pay their car payment. Somebody might have had to pay something, so they got rid of it. Or they just didn't like it, or they wanted something different, or they did it for a video and they didn't need it anymore. I don't know, but that's what I've seen. So I have seen that come into play. Uh, Catch back up here real quick. Turkey's opinion is in the house. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you very much. And he is having a chat tonight after mine. I don't know if his kicks off at 9 or not. But he is having a chat tonight if y'all want to tune into that. Oh man, they're dropping in price, aren't they? Scott says PSA has the GTI Cannon for $899. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not saying that they're bad guns. It's just, and also at the end of the day, when you buy it, even if it says Turn Tactical on it, at the end of the day, it's still a Canic. And those don't bring high dollar on the used market. People will buy them. I would highly recommend buying one on the used market versus the new market because you're going to take a loss. But like when I look at guns, this is another thing. I don't buy budget guns. A lot of people get mad at me and they're like, "Oh, you're too snobby." Well, no, I'm just a realist. Like when I buy a car, I know I'm going to take a hit on it, or most people are going to take a hit on it if they buy it right off the lot. So, look at your used cars or your certified vehicles, where somebody else has already taken the hit. And it's kind of on some of these guns. If it's a gun you don't know a lot about, you don't have the opportunity to shoot it, I would recommend buying a used model. Matter of fact, there's a new program. I didn't even know of this, but there's a new program that Texas Gun Experience has, and you pay $25 extra, just 25 bucks, and they will cover the maintenance or the basically they'll cover anything that breaks on that gun for the life of the gun. And I'm like, damn, for 25 bucks? I mean, you buy a used gun, you give them 25 bucks extra, they're going to cover it for you. So if anything happens or breaks or whatever, they're going to deal with it. Their gunsmiths are going to fix it. So I'm like, that's a hell of a deal for $25. You know, that's just something in that I think they sell that on all their new and used guns. Now, a lot of places will have like a 5-year warranty, a lifetime warranty, or whatever. So, manufacturers differ. If it was like a Smith and Wesson with a lifetime warranty, I wouldn't buy Texas Gun Experience warranty because I could get it through the manufacturer. But like CZ, a lot of them are only 5 years. So I didn't buy one on this one because I know quite a bit about CZ. But it is only 25 bucks. So for like a newbie that might be considering it, I don't know if I want to buy that. That could be an option, at Texas Gun Experience. I don't know of anybody else that does that, but that could be an option too. So, it is going to be interesting to see what people, what manufacturers are coming out with next. And that's the thing. I think it's kind of stale in the marketplace right now because of what's coming up. We all know what's coming up. So I think a lot of manufacturers are kind of sitting back. They're kind of like, okay, let's see what's going to happen here. Who's going to win? What's going to happen? And then they're going to plan accordingly. So I think that's kind of what's going on with some of the new releases. But, I'm excited. Is anything going to come out new? Is anything going to come out, exciting? I want to see that. Hopefully it does. Back again, just kind of rolling back real quick. I do have some stuff coming in for the Shadow 2 Compact. I do want to kind of reiterate that. I've got things, I've already gotten one from one manufacturer. I've got 2 other things coming from 2 other manufacturers. I'm waiting for those. Once I get those, I am going to start doing more testing on the Shadow 2. Hopefully, I don't bore people. Maybe that's what y'all are here for, and you want to see more of that. So far, and I'm just sitting here staring at it. The thing's a freaking beautiful gun. Sorry, I can't show it, but I'm sitting here staring at it. It's just sitting here, and it's beautiful. So, but one of the items is supposed to arrive tomorrow. It's a big box. It has a lot of stuff in it. And I'm excited about getting that stuff put on. Then I've got some other items coming for it, and I'm excited about testing those out. So it's going to be a lot more shooting. I mean, I've got not just going to go through just this gun, but I've got 2,000 rounds sitting down here in boxes that I've already got laid out. So we're going to be running the dog shit out of this gun. I don't know if you saw the video, but I got this gun hot. I wanted to see what it could handle. If you haven't seen the video, go check it out. But I get that gun freaking hot. There is steam and heat pouring off that gun because I wanted to see, for one, could I outrun the trigger? And the answer is no. I could not outrun this trigger. Some guns I have, I can outrun the trigger. Not that I'm super fast, but I can outrun the trigger, and I can kind of get into a hammer drop situation, or you know what I'm talking about. But I couldn't do it on this gun. I tried. Not so far anyway. Not saying I can't later, but this gun was a joy to shoot. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a blast shooting it. I'm super excited about it. I'll just tell you all that. I haven't done a video on it yet, but if you're on the fence, I would say fall off that fence and get it. That's what I've got so far, even after only 130 rounds. And I'm looking for the comparisons. So I really want to, same day, same ammo, that kind of shit. Not, hey, this is specialty ammo, this is another specialty ammo. No, it's going to be the same, and we're going to run it on the same day with the same, if it happens to be a little bit of arthritis, same day, same bat channel, that kind of thing. That's what I want to do with it. I want to test it against multiple guns. Like I said, it's not just going to be one gun. I've got a plan for like 6 or 7 guns because I want to see how it stacks up. I want to carry it. I want to see how it carries after it's proven out. I'm not just going to, throw 100 rounds through it. I've already got 130, but I've got to run more defensive ammo. I've got to run different grains of ammo, different manufacturers of ammo, which I have. I want to see what it can do. So that's kind of the test I'm going to be putting it through, seeing what I'm doing, seeing how it holds up. And then, also I already have, and that's why I can't show it, I already have a new plating system on it. The video tomorrow is going to be the plate that failed. Okay, just going to tell you. I do go off on that company. I don't really hold a lot back, but I changed the language. A little more composure because I was pissed when I came back to the range. I was really hot. I was mad. My wife was even like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I don't even want to talk about it." And I went straight, turned on the camera. So that was probably a bad thing. Or obviously it was. But, you know, it is what it is. But I've already got the new plate on it. We're going to even test that. So after we've already had this plate failure, so that's down the road after tomorrow. I've got the new plate. I'm going to be showing that and shooting it, seeing how it works. I've done everything to spec on it as well. I'm letting it cure. It's cured for now. Shit, I think this is like the 3rd day. So it ain't been shot, so it's going to be, I always let them cure up. So there's no excuses. If it fails, it fails. I'll tell you the truth. No holds barred. But yeah, the first one was a piece of shit. And you'll find out what it is tomorrow. You'll find out what it was doing. You'll find out everything tomorrow. So if you want to tune into that, that's cool. But anyway, let's see here. Yep, I've been through that route too as well. Hello, Lynn Holt. I'm glad you're here. I find I am totally through with VZ grips. I'm a lock man. I appreciate you, sir. And you can use my lock code BJGG10. That does help my channel. So, but I appreciate you. Yeah, I've used VZs in the past, but I got movement from them. I mean, I would be shooting the 1911 with my VZs in there, and I would get movement. I would get play, even tightening them up. The fit was just not perfect. And Jason and those guys, they make a perfect fit grip. And that is what I appreciate, because I don't just baby a gun. I crunch down on that sucker, and I don't want shit letting loose. Let's see here. I'm looking forward to these comparisons, and especially how you're going to be dressing it up. Yes, I get the fun stuff tomorrow. I'm going to be dressing this baby up. I was about to say a bad word. I'm going to be dressing this baby up and having a good time with it and seeing what I like, and doing just like some dry fit testing and kind of playing around with it. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a box of goodies. The box of goodies, I will let you know who it's from. It is from Lock Grips. So I'm excited about playing with it, but y'all don't know what colors, y'all don't know styles, y'all don't know any of that. So I won't let that out of the bag. But I think you're going to enjoy what I picked and what I'm having made. Some of it was custom, some of it was standard, but I'm excited about trying it. So we'll see how it holds up. Don't predict anything's going to be bad. Also, I'm still kind of deciding if I want to put the extended safety on it. I've got an extra extended safety. Took it off my Shadow 2 that I traded in, so I've got that. Uh, but not necessarily carry it cocked and locked, because you can carry it that way. I would probably carry it in half cocked. But for a thumb rest, put my thumb on it. I've got that out of the way. So still trying to decide on that. Don't know. Doesn't take that long to put it in if I want to. But I don't know yet. I do not like the flat safety at all. It's useless to me, personally. But you do have the option, the Shadow 2 full size fits it perfectly, goes right in there if you want to do that. And you buy those, they're about $40. They're hard as hell to get. There's probably aftermarket ones that are out there, but I try to stay with the OEs on that, just because I know the detent will be proper. But I've got that option too, so I'm going to think about playing with that, seeing where I go with that. But yeah, I am going to be dressing it up tomorrow. As soon as I get that, I'm ripping the box open and I'm going to start playing with it. I'm going to put it all together and see what I like. The plate that I've got on it now, I don't want to tell the name of it just yet, but I already have a video filmed, already got it filmed, already got it in the queue. I'll probably I am releasing the messed up one tomorrow, so I would recommend watching that. Because it's going to show you not only what they've done wrong, but what I recommend they do correctly, because it is inferior. From a technician and an ex-aviation technician, the materials they're using are inferior, and I prove it. I prove it. I tell you what they need to do. And I promise you I'm not wrong. So I hope they see that video and they're like, oh shit, he's right. I hope an engineer sees it, because I guarantee you, I proved them wrong. The way they're making this and the way they think they're going to set it up, because it is inferior and it will cause corrosion the way that they're doing it. So, and you can watch it and go, Big J, you're full of shit, but I can prove you wrong too. I'm not full of shit. I don't hear, I'm just going to be honest with you, Armsman, I don't hear shit about VZ anymore. I really don't. I don't hear anything about them anymore. It's dominantly locked. So, and I'm not hating on VZ. They're in business. I get it. Yeah, Craig, like I said, it takes like literally 10 minutes to put it in, if that. So, no, Pistol Pete, you're close, but not exactly right. There's another thing, and I say the name in the video. You want to look up the nomenclature that I talk about, and I'm just going to tell you tomorrow's video. I talk about some advanced nomenclature that y'all probably never heard of, and you'll be like, what the hell is Big J talking about? But I guarantee if their engineers hear it, they're going to be like, oh shit, he's right. So yeah, it could wake them up. VZ is a grip company. They make a lot of grips, or they have made grips in the past. Luminous, that's who they are. They're another alternate grip company. But anyway, yeah, it's 8:38. We will shut this down. I know I appreciate all the participation. Y'all have done a fantastic job. Y'all make all this happen. But yeah, tune into the video tomorrow if you want to see it. I think you'll enjoy it. Like I said, the first video I was like, whoa, I gotta chill out here, because I was pissed. And y'all haven't seen me pissed, but I can be an angry, pissed off man, and I was definitely pissed off. So I decided to redo it when I was calmed down, like 2 days later. And anyway, I still blast them, so don't worry about that. I don't hold my tongue, but I did it in a more professional way than I did it the first time. First time I was angry, and that was probably the wrong time to film a video. So I said a lot of bad words, and I try to keep it a little more user friendly, even though I set mine as not made for kids. but a lot of people don't like to hear language, and I get it. So I wanted to clean it up a bit. So nope, Pistol Pete, it's not that either. When you hear it, you'll be like, and you might have not even known about this. A lot of people don't know the terms, but it's very, very common in aviation. I see it all the time, and I've seen it fail. So yeah. If you want to shoot me an email, I'll tell you. Put it that way. You know how to find my email. It's in the community tab. So I keep everything 100. So from experience, and I've seen the failures of what I talk about in that video personally, and it's not fun. And I don't want anybody in that same situation, because even if it wouldn't have came loose, it could have caused a potential problem later on down the road. And when you need your gun, you need your gun. So that was the thing. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night, and stay safe, love one another. If you hadn't reached out to somebody that you talked to in a while, please do. But appreciate y'all so much. We will, I guess, be live on the premiere tomorrow night. If y'all want to tune in, I'll be answering questions. I'll be, whatever you want to do. And then I've already got the new video filmed for the new plate system. And I will just say, just from installing it, it's way better. Way better. Now, I haven't shot it yet. 100% honest. I always do. But I think this one is super robust. I see a lot of great things here. And, the company did send it in. I did not pay for it. The new one, I did not pay for it. But if I were going to buy another gun, just with the fitment of this one, if I were going to buy another gun and I wanted a plate, this is the company I would probably buy it from. And they make them for a lot of guns. So just to kind of give you a hint, that's going to be coming later. But after I release the failure one this weekend, I'll probably release the one that I've put on there. But again, I haven't shot it yet. And I say that in the video. But just from installing it, it's a huge difference. So, but I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night, everybody. Remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care.